First game, let's focus on. Game in focus this week. Panthers versus the Broncos. It was
built
Panthers,
up.
It was built up.
It was built up to be game of the round. It fell a little bit flat for a couple of reasons, but I think there was a key couple of moments to say Penrith, they're not going to be anywhere but the top four again this year. Just so professional. Like, we've said this a number of times, Matty. If you want to win the majority of games in the first 4 to 6 weeks, defend well, have good completion rate, and have a halfback that's got a great kicking game. Yep. That's exactly what Penrith did.
They just put him in a good old-fashioned stranglehold.
Yeah, they did.
That's what happened. And if you go back and watch the game, where Penrith, typical Penrith, just kept handing back the Broncos the ball in their own 5 metres, bringing them out. And the conditions were difficult. It was very difficult conditions to advance the ball towards the sideline, and they just put them in the phone box and just frustrated the hell out of them.
And then put the ball up, and Jenkins chases through, put some pressure on Walsh error. Like, there was just a couple of, just more clinical ways of scoring tries as opposed to flamboyant ways, like just turning the screws tighter. There was a little bit of a shift in the way that Penrith are going to play. They shifted the ball a little bit out of their own end. Mm-hmm. Normally, they're very much Isaiah Yeo through the middle and grind their way. So there was a little bit of that. And I thought the Broncos missed the mark. I thought the Broncos tried to do the big flamboyant play and try to score. Yeah. And when the pass there was an error or a turnover, it just allowed the Penrith machine to get into good field position and grind away at the victory. I thought the Broncos were too much sideways big play.
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't work. Sideways big play. Yeah. And when Reece works, it works. But when it doesn't, you've got to find different ways. Because I think, the Broncos missed a chance in that second half, trying to find a little bit of rhythm and win that game. Jack Cogger comes on the field. He's defending next to Mitch Kenny and Lindsay Smith. That's a small middle. Yep. On the Broncos, Payne Haas, Xavier Wilson, Patrick Carrigan. Don't go the shift play with Reece Walsh 2 passes wide. Centralise the attack, bash the front door down and get Reece to run through the middle as opposed to shifting it.
If the Broncos' performance had a twin brother, it'd be the Roosters, wouldn't it? Trying to football their way to dominance. Yeah. And if Penrith had a twin brother, it'd be the Warriors, which we'll talk about a little bit later, how that grit, simplicity. And the thing about one of the advantages that Penrith got over every other side is Nathan's kicking game and his composure. Correct. In the very fact that they've got the ability, if they want to play really conservative and just go wham, 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 wham down the field, attacking kick. And if if you give him regular opportunity for attacking kicks, they're going to beat you 95 times out of 100.
And the Penrith had some errors. They weren't alone, but the Broncos had 18 or something. It was crazy the way they were disrespecting the ball, and you just cannot do that. They might beat a team at the bottom of the ladder with 18 errors, but they are not going to beat Penrith or Melbourne. And what they did last year, remarkable. Slip up in the World Club Challenge. They're now on a little bit of the back foot, but they will bounce back. They just need to simplify their football. I mean, both sides of the ball. Don't overcomplicate it. This game is pretty basic, but we try to tend to make it a bit more complicated than it is. If they just generate some more forward momentum as opposed to going for the big shift, the big elaborate play, they'll be okay.
Well, that's it. If you're going to beat the Panthers, you got to complete really high. Because if you don't, like I said before, you're going to put Nathan into that territory at the back end of sets, and that was the tail of the tape. If you watch during the game through the games, Penrith, the first try is Broncos make an error at a certain part of the field. They march down, they put an attacking kick in, and they score. Yep. It was interesting, and we said about the Panthers, what they're very, very good at, Coop, is self-correcting on the run. Mm-hmm. The second try came about, it was like they went through a patch. In 3 consecutive sets, the Panthers made errors. They just forced the ball a little bit too far. They were taking the ball and trying to pass into the line. Suddenly you saw them just totally self-correct themselves. Pull back to simplicity, attacking kick, it was an error, and then the play after, Dylan Edwards scored that try, and Pakes was just gone, he couldn't get across. Yep. It's just an example of how their ability to pull back and adjust on the run.
And I think I liked what Jack Cogger did. Isaiah Yeo is the best ball-playing middle in the competition, but if there's going to be a beneficiary of this 6-man interchange, I think Penrith just nailed it with Cogger because he could be plugged in and plugged out when the game needs him to be.
Coop, I thought what he gives Nathan in that last 15, 20 minutes, and you're a halfback very similar to Nathan. You steer and control and all the rest of it. Sometimes You know, when you're doing that week in, week out, it can get mentally tiring. You see when he comes on in those 15, 20-minute bursts, Nathan frees up.
Yep.
I spoke to Jack Cogger about the grand final they won against Brisbane, and he was crucial in that win. Without Cogger, they don't win that game against the Broncos. And I said, what was the message that Ivan gave you? And he just said, mate, get on there and just, you know, take control,
Yep.
like, of the team. Don't support Nathan. Take control. Get the game plan back on and free up Nathan. And when he ran on the field, he said to Nathan, he said, mate, let me control it. You just float around. You play more of a second receiver role. And he did. That's what he brings.
I think other teams will now start mirroring that. So that six-man interchange, put a half that can control the middle or be dynamic enough to play dummy half and run the footy.
Some standout performances. I'll lead off here, Coop. Mate, I'm so happy for Tanner Boyd.
Yeah.
You know, he's been through the ringer a lot. He's a kid that you can see confidence doesn't come natural to him. Very similar to Chanel Harris-Tavita. Thought he was incredible defensively. That little play there, that show and go.
Yeah.
Everything changed for him after that. It was just the confidence booster he needed, Tanner. And boy, they were good.
They were.
The Warriors, mate. You know, it's like you were saying about Penrith, Coops. It's simplicity. It's hard.
Yep.
You know, straight running, physicality in defence, high energy defence, carries you a long way.
And I think if there's a team in the competition that needs to win all its home games, I think it's the Warriors. Yep. You win all your home games, you're a chance of playing finals if you jag one or two away from home. So they needed to get off to a good start. They got that home crowd up and about. And I think it was good coaching too, because what they did is they used their power forwards to sort of control the Roosters' power forwards, but then they attacked Cherry Evans and Sam Walker on the edges.
Yeah.
The Tanner Boyd try, show and go inside shoulder on Cherry Evans, and then Klukstar's last try, just movement in and around Sam Walker, and he came up with thin air, and Klukstar goes through. So it was good coaching.
They're really well drilled side, aren't
they?
Yeah. And you know, the Warriors are renowned for their flair, and there is flair, but it stems all off that power football, play through an opposition.
Yeah, Fisher-Harris, physicality through the middle was good.